This is the view from the meditation gardens today. So as I'm filming all of this and videotaping all of this and reviewing all of this and reflecting all of this, I feel really blessed to think that I got fired. Yes, I've lost probably $10,000 of income so far and counting. Yes, I've lost my job. Yes, I thought it was very unfair. Yes. However, if it had not had happened, I wouldn't be standing here completely free, sharing this with you in this moment. So with that said, it's a miracle to be here with you. And I can stay here indefinitely for as long as I want to. I can stay here in Encinitas and visit the meditation gardens indefinitely for the rest of my life if I choose to. It's all up to me now. Steps Beach. I normally walk up here. It's about 4 minutes from my motel room. They serve coffee in the lobby at 6 a.m. I normally always walk up here at 6 a.m. Go to a place called Captain Kino's tonight. I haven't eaten anything yet, and they open at 4. Captain Kino's used to be, back in the 70s, the place to go for breakfast, but now because of COVID stuff, they're only open from 4 till 10 o'clock at night. I'm probably going to walk over there tonight. So the question is, am I happy? Well, honestly, I'm not happy about my van blowing up on me. And my plan to be the Encinitas van man with a plan of sleeping in my van rent-free, I'm not happy. But I am happy, despite it all, that I'm here. Am I happy about getting fired with night transportation and losing probably at least $100,000 of income the next couple of years? No, not really happy about that. Can I do anything about it? No. I have lots of documentation and videos. I could potentially go to a labor attorney with all my documentation, with my side of the story, and potentially, who knows, I might have a lawsuit of $100,000 to $200,000, potentially, but who knows. Could I collect unemployment right now? Probably, but I have not.
Okay, well, maybe we should let everybody know what we're talking about, and then if they're interested in hopping on, at least they'll know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So, but I usually don't like to know because I am the kind of person that likes to go off the cuff. I actually channel and get my messages, and they come off the cuff, but I know what it is, and so my guides have already given me some word on what they want me to talk about in the questions. So,
and channel Sophia Rashkin. This is May 20th, 2016 from Littleton, Colorado. This show was pre-recorded on May 20th, 2016. Our guest tonight is medium Sophia Rashkin. Sophia has been self-employed for 19 years, During this time, she was a real estate broker for 9 years and then went on to be a partner in a successful internet marketing business for 10 years. Sophia left that business because of a spiritual calling. Now Sophia works with only 100% light spiritual energy, psychic medium, channeler, spiritual guidance, and mentorship transcriber of source energy. She also channeled a curriculum around releasing clearing vows from other lifetimes. She is now working on 2 more curriculums called Working on Yourself Within a Relationship and Parenting the Cosmic Conscious Child, mislabeled ADD, ADHD, Autistic. Sophia hosts a meditation metaphysics group in Denver called YAM, Y-A-M-M, Younger Adult Meditation and Metaphysics, and she also started 2 in Southern California, San Diego Encinitas, and the LA area. One in the San Francisco area, and 1 in New York City. She has been guided to start 6 more cities throughout the U.S. in 2016 and will then expand from there internationally. Tonight's show features Sophia channeling the divine high beings of light.
I know what it is, and so my guides have already given me some word on what they want me to talk about in the questions. So you have questions for me.
Yeah, so basically, as you guys know, I've been talking about finding peace within no matter where you're at over the past several months, and in different topics, different things I've posted. I've used different examples, and somebody commented with a really good question, and I promised them I would do a video on it. Shouts out to Mark Poindexter. He's the one that asked the question. And the question was, he wants to know how can he find peace within when he's not happy with where he's at. So, it's like, okay, it's easy to tell somebody you need to have peace within, but if they're not necessarily happy with their surroundings, they're not happy with their job, they're not happy with the government, they're not happy with their baby mama, they're not happy with their dog, whatever it is that's, creating this environment that they're not too pleased with, they're having a hard time finding peace inside. And I think we've all been there. So, Sophie and Spirit,
My great guides.
would you please help our people out?
Because if you just are like saying positive, that part of you that's hurting and feels sad and feels some grieving, you're not acknowledging that. I think it's important just to acknowledge the whole experience, but in the end, move on and reframe it and say, okay, this is my. In fact, I told Sophia I'm going to allow myself to grieve for about a couple weeks.
Your deadline was like this last Tuesday, so you're past your deadline. So we already agreed to that before we started this trip, that Tuesday was your deadline and today is Thursday. So you had like a good couple of weeks or so to grieve. And now it's like you're already on to your next journey.
Yeah.
Not saying that things won't come up, but I think they're going to come up less.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, as we, and I know you're in alignment with this. Okay. Here's what I hear you saying: is to not suppress the feelings that are going to naturally come up in the moving on process. It's natural to feel, because we just talked about how I loved what I was doing and I enjoyed it, and there's going to be a part of me that's going, I miss that, and so let that happen, but at the same time open up to the reality that, with a sense of gratitude, that now I'm moving into this next chapter. This next chapter is a brand new chapter.
Thank you. It's a very good question, especially at the time that we're at, like I said. And there is no doubt that there's many, many of us that are experiencing that right now at this moment. And if not at this moment, have experienced at one time or more, many times within our lives. And I know I've certainly experienced that personally. You have, and it is something that I still experience, and I really have to look within. So there's always questions that I ask myself. First of all, they're telling me right away that they really want me to bring this up, and somebody that's inspiring to many of us, who is Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela, as you guys know, had spent over probably 27 years or so in prison in South Africa. And he then went on to become president when he was released, and is now passed away. And on to the next part of his eternal journey. However, he was somebody that embodied peace within, even when he was in prison, even though there was a lot of war-torn things, a lot of very hard, what we might call environments going on in his country. And so he was somebody, like I said, that embodied peace. And so how was he able to do that, even though he was in prison? Even though there were so many things outside, so many external factors going on in his own life and his countrymen's life that could be affecting this. Well, and it does come down to exactly what you said. It is an easy, simple concept of choosing. It is a decision that we make every single day, every moment of our life. What we choose. We can choose peace, we can choose love, or we can choose the complete opposite: hate, fear, anguish, frustration. It is a complete choice. None of us chose. None of us are victims.
The one thing I love about Sophia, she's not afraid to speak her mind with me, but she does it. I actually said this in the video. I said she's honest, but I never feel like she's bitchy. Although I shouldn't say that.
You've definitely experienced that bitchy side. So don't
I caught myself. I caught myself.
Don't act like you have not.
I caught myself. But we go right here. I think. Hello, everyone. I don't know who's here on this video because frankly, I'm all by myself, technically in real time, holding my Pro Max camera at the top of Stone Steps Beach here in Encinitas, California. Look at this, man. This is so awesome, man. I feel totally blessed, fortunate to be here with you at this instant, in this moment. And this is a really special place for me. But I'm at the kind of the end of my life. Whatever the end of my life is. Could be a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But this is it. My last chapter. So I'm making movies, videos all day long. I got up at, for example, at 5 a.m. this morning, made a movie. I went to Panikin Coffee Shop, made a movie. I went to this place, had lunch, and drank 3 beers, made a movie.
And then we have to go into the ocean.
And then in the ocean.
We have to swim around the beach.
Wow. That's a lot of walking.
Easier.
You guys gotta go up and down the stairs 4 times?
Yes. We're all exhausted.
Yeah, that I would be too. Junior lifeguards.
No.
Junior lifeguard reminder. So when I have my breakdown.
So that whole speech that we had was not recording the whole time?
Well, the audio portion, but I want to see you to tell me.
Well, now, you know, you have a different blessed life, right? You have a different, and I'm looking out
Yeah,
here. You have
Sophia-
a very different blessed life. It's just a different part of your journey. It continues, so.
Yeah, Sophia just basically helped me to reframe the experience I had. There's like I guess I'm gonna end up just doing these videos just for my own therapy and it's like journaling, but video journaling. And it somehow it just part of the whole reason why I'm doing this for me, and it just doesn't seem to make a difference for anybody else. I've been talking to people about video and documentation and do they use iMovie, and frankly nobody seems to really care. But for me, this is space age, that I'm able to hold this camera and videotape this and share it with you if you are you out there, and I can literally make this into a video and send it to anyone in the world, or it could be on a Facebook or YouTube and someone can watch this and be here. You sleep after you die. Well, my night transportation life, that life is dead. You know, that's now a past life. Regardless of how much I miss it on certain levels, it's done. That life lasted 9 years, 4 months, and my trucking career lasted about 12 years.
That we choose everything in our lives, and we don't have to choose to be victim. That's when we know how powerful we are. Now, there's a lot of external factors that will tell us very differently, and that does include our family, schooling, governments, religion, society, civilization. A lot of external factors that want to control us and put us in a box. Make us think that we only use 10% of our brain. Make us think that we are limited by our external factors. It's not true. And I'm not saying that what we are feeling, Mark, that's a great question, and so many of us, I'm not saying that what we're feeling isn't real either. Because we are human beings, we have emotions. And it's okay to go, you know what? I'm not happy where I'm at right now. I'm not happy. It's okay to say that out loud. It's okay to embrace that you're not in a happy place.
For a couple weeks. It's not like I'm gonna do it every month.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that guy. He just got. I don't care to go that fast. By the way, I'm videotaping pretty good shots of this. But I'm also getting more and more in the moment, and I know you completely understand this, and not future pacing too much, because look what happened. You can't. I want to just go with the flow, because who knows, Brazil might not even be in the picture by the time I hang out with you. I'll be like, wow, I don't even want to bother going down there. Let's do this.
If we were always in a happy place, we wouldn't know what sadness is like. We wouldn't know. If we were always with love, we wouldn't know what fear is. Then if we always knew what love and happiness and joy were, why even exist in a human body and have a human experience? Why even have that experience? We chose to have a human experience, and with a human experience, we choose to have emotions. Human beings have emotions. Human beings have emotions, and so many of us, especially the males in society, are conditioned not to show the emotions. I gotta say, I empathize with males and men in society today, and because there's a part of all of you that, where do you fit? Women have become very independent. Women can go and procreate without a man. Women can provide for themselves. So men are asking themselves, where do I fit? Where do I fit in all of this? Where is the grand scheme? There, I promise you that there is a big role that you all play here as males in the society.
I wasn't planning on getting terminated and switching gears and doing this, but it is what it is. So, Sophia's been doing the van. She did her Prius thing for a couple years, got her Prius set up. She still has a Prius. And then she got this van. She watches all the YouTube videos and she's got it all set up pretty cool. I don't.
And I have to say, I mean, I love men. You guys contribute so much more than you think, but there is that part right now. We're on a planet where we live in duality and things are being balanced, being more harmonized. The divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy are being balanced in all of us. And so the happiness, going back to the happiness question, it's such a broad question, but it does really have a very simple answer. And that simple answer does have to do with choice and decision. And sometimes in your part of your life, if you understand soul contracts and knowing that you have a soul contract, you have a soul blueprint, a soul chart that says that you chose before you entered into this physical body, into this physical realm, and that you chose, okay, at this point in my life, from the ages of 38 to 45, I choose to go through the worst time in my life and to be a miserable person. I want to really have that full-on human experience of being really miserable. So I want you to bring it on. And the reason why I want that is because I want to find my way out of it. I want to find my way out of being miserable, out of being unhappy, so that I can find on the other side love, peace, happiness, joy, kindness, compassion, forgiveness. But in order for me to find that, I want a big adventure in this life. I want a big adventure of being miserable. So bring on a lot of hardship in my life. Bring on family challenges, health challenges, financial challenges, relationship challenges. Bring it all on and make me, give me something, because I've been in this human body in other lifetimes. And I've had a lot of experiences, and you know what? It's time for another adventure. I think I've gotten a little bit bored as a soul, and I've got more to learn in this lifetime. Maybe I didn't get that in the other lifetime, and so this lifetime I choose something different, something more adventurous. And believe it or not, I know it's challenging for our human mind to wrap around that we could possibly. It's very challenging to conceive that we could possibly choose something like that. Why would somebody choose to have such hardships? Why would we choose that? We've had a lot of other lifetimes. Some of them have been so fantastic that it's like, next lifetime I want it to be a little bit more challenging. So we choose sometimes in different periods of our life what some might call the dark night of the soul, some might call a death and rebirth. And we experience those sometimes a few times, sometimes a couple of times, sometimes frequently throughout our lives in one lifetime. And really what it comes down to is it gives us opportunities for soul growth. Sometimes we come here, just for the shits and giggles. But I can pretty much guarantee you, most of us came here to have a big, big experience. and live life big. And I'm not talking about fame and money and material things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about big soul growth. But in order for big soul growth, for us to progress in our soul's journey, we have to have big things, big experiences to come along with that.
We're just in the car together. We decided to do one car. It was $20 per car, and this is Monument Valley, and this is our first full day together. And Sophia is so awesome. You know, as I've said, I'm not going to keep saying it over and over again. I was released. I was set free with night transportation. So Sophia is my main soul sister that really helped me. The very first night I called her and I told her about it, and she was real compassionate. She understood that I'd be, you know, freaked out and disappointed and all kinds of emotions, but she's the one that said, why don't we reframe this? You know, you had your human mind that you wanted to drive 5 more years and, you know, do all this, but Spirit had another plan for you. I think, but this meeting, I'm still not over it, because it was like a nightmare. It was like, I think there's some things in life, no matter how much you reframe it, like I'll talk about my friend Sophia Rashkin, she talked to me the first night. I've mentioned this a number of times. She's the kind of friend like no other friend I have. No other friend that drove 400 miles from Denver, Colorado in her Toyota van, which I ultimately would buy a Toyota van, to meet with me in my Subaru a few days after I was officially fired, to hang out with me, to help me through this firing, to reframe it. She's the kind of friend. And you might say, who is Sophia Rashkin? Scott would know, okay. Christopher Stone would know. Sylvia wouldn't know. Yuki wouldn't know. There's a whole bunch of my quote-unquote friends. Don wouldn't know, or at least his perception would be different. I could go all down the line. My mother and father know who Sophia Rashkin is. My friend Chicago would. But the point is, she helped me, and I have it all on video. But one of the things that she said, here's a siren. One of the things that she said was, when I talked about the fact that I love night transportation up to the last 24 hours, 9 years, 4 months, I love my job. The weird part is, there are a few people that have been with me. I'm talking about the last 10 years. Sophia's one of them. But the weird part is, I mentioned this, I don't even know if my mom and dad know this. I met Sophia Rashkin when I was in a company called Empower Network, what was an internet network marketing company. And she and her husband, Aaron, were gurus. They were like, if you're not familiar with network marketing or internet marketing or affiliate marketing, you can have thousands of affiliates or representatives or distributors or whatever, but the top like 5 or 10 become like celebrities within that network, okay? You wouldn't know them. You could mention their name. I could go in here and say, do you know who Sophia Rashkin is? No, I don't have a clue, okay? However, if you're within that niche, you know who they are. It could be like with my dad. My dad's really into art. You know, he's always talking about, I hear him on the phone, on a speakerphone, talking to his friend George, talking about artists and famous artists and how much they're selling their paintings for and so on and so forth. And I didn't even have a clue who they were. He's talking about artists, famous artists that sell paintings maybe for 10,000, 100,000, million, gazillion, you know, and you probably wouldn't even know who they are, and I don't know who they are. He has art books all over the place and videos, and in the art world, he knows all the history and the who's who, and even my own dad was voted at one point the top 200 in his field in the country. If you go check it out, type in my dad's name, Robert Wierma, W-I-E-R-M-A-A. You'll see stuff on my own father, who's now turning 89, who is in the house right now. he's kind of, not, I wouldn't say a celebrity, but he's known in his community, like Sophia was known. But the point is, I paid her $2,500, $1,000 a day to mentor with her and her husband to learn how to build the Empower Network business while I was working for Knight Transportation, because they made like $200,000 in commissions, royalties, you know, from their downline in 3 months. That's like $70,000 a month or something like that. And I wasn't making that kind of money driving a truck, to be honest with you, $70,000 a month. So I felt like that's another whole huge story, and that was worth it to mentor with them, fly into Denver, go to their home, sit with Aaron and Sophia with a handful of people that have flown in from all over the world to mentor with them. I did it. That's how our friendship started. I'm going to highlight friendship started. I had no idea the 10 years that we've known each other would be like they are. It got me to reframe everything in a very positive way versus being a victim of the circumstances. And I bring something to the table too. She was my guru, my coach, and now she's my van coach. She's the van
Nomadic coach.
and she's totally awesome. She understands what I'm going through, because I respect and love Sophia because I understand where she's come from and where she is today. And she herself went through huge transformation, and you could say that maybe on a logical level you'd say, oh my God, you know, but she went through it, and I was there with her. That's what now she's here for me, you know. It's kind of funny how life works out, you know. And we've known each other probably, I don't know, 8 years. The time flies so.
I think it's longer than that. Like almost 10 years.
Almost
now.
10 years.
Since the day in the office.
It's a day in the office. We still talk about that.
No, this is the day in the office.
This is the day in the office. This is I've got my money's worth.
No mad life is the day. No mad life is the day in the office.
How to build a big Empower Network business. So it's very specific about the Empower Network. So it's information that you're giving them about how to do something, which is education. So you can mix two kind of, you know, themes into one piece of content.
I had no comprehension. And that's the thing, folks. When I'm making these videos, one of the messages I have, first of all, I'm really just documenting this for myself. Whether I have anybody watch my YouTube channel, like, comment, it's awesome if you do. But the realization I had when doing this channel is it's awesome if you want to tune in and check it out and check out what I'm doing, cool. But I don't even want my expectations to be like I'm disappointed because I only get a couple likes or I have only 18 subscribers. It isn't about that. It's about documenting my life because my life is worth documenting. And I've had I told Sophia this morning, I've had this weird paradigm thing that I just started doing this because Spirit told me to do this. And it's like speaking to me through this video experience. You know, we tune into our higher self in whatever way Spirit wants us to, and it's chosen this way. So I'm just going with it. So anyway, I'm going to turn the video off. I'm not going to videotape everything. You don't know either. My mom says she knows. In fact, here's the weird thing, and I'm going to cut this off. Doing a video. That's all. My poor mom. She was out in the yard trying to cut down a palm tree leaf, and I was in my car making a video. I can't sit here and watch my mom. So I went out and talked to my mom. I said, Mom, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just trying to cut down this. Mom, let me do it. So she dragged out this cord with this electric thing. She said, I can't cut it with my, just give me the hand thing. Tell me where to cut. And I cut the branches down, put it in the trash can, and did that. I said, Mom, when you need help, I may be making a video, but tell me. I couldn't sit there making my video in my Prius and watching my 87-year-old mom struggle with cutting down palm tree branches. So I went out and cut them, and I went in and told her, I got to go down to Love's and, you know, My mom and dad know I do this, but they don't understand it. So my life is really weird. But anyway, story. But probably, I will say this, okay? My mom and dad, even though they don't understand me, they don't believe in everything. So my mom always says, Sophia, but I don't believe in that woo-woo stuff. She calls it woo-woo stuff, okay? The channeling and the Shambhala. No, that's not Shambhala. She's a shaman.
Yeah, they came to me and they kind of joke around. Each one of them have their own kind of personalities. Some of them have a really good sense of humor, and again, like I said, they're 100% pure light, and I always ensure that that we're working and we're divinely protected before we get started in any kind of a session. And I ensure that they are the ones that I'm working with, as it's a universal law that anything that could possibly be cloaked or anything like that must be completely removed when we are calling them out. So I'm always ensuring that they are here with me and ask for tangible physical signs in how my body feels when I'm working with them. And so they kind of joke around that they're called the ball, DHBOL, Divine High Beings of Light, the ball. So,
Okay.
yeah, and they are a group of not only just archangels, but also ascended masters. And usually the ones that like to work with me have a very good sense of humor. They are Eastern, Asian, and Indian ascended masters, and they usually do have an accent, and my voice changes quite drastically when I am channeling them. So it's fun. They say that they do it for my entertainment purposes as well as the entertainment purposes of who I'm channeling for. And it's also physical, tangible evidence for me, as I've asked that I want that kind of evidence, very apparent to come through that I am channeling them. So they find that kind of humorous, and so do I, and so we just kind of have fun with that when they come.
Okay. Believe it or not, Sophia, this is a real conversation. Now it wouldn't be a reality because they sold the house. Just a little while ago, before my parents sold the house, my friend Sophia asked me if she could park her Toyota van in my driveway for the winter. Seriously. And I actually asked my mom and dad prior to them selling the house, you don't have to say yes, but Sophia wanted to know, she likes the weather here in the winter. She wouldn't even use the facility, she just would like to park her Toyota van in front of the house and just camp out there, And they said no, but it was really funny. I'm sitting here thinking, 10 years ago, whatever, would I have thought that Sophia Rashkin, who I paid $1,000 a day to mentor prior to her leaving her husband and leaving the Empower business to pursue being a shaman in the channel, be asking me for real if she could park her van in my driveway at my home. That's how. So there's so many layers to my driving to Tokyo life that I can't do it on a TikTok level video. Maybe that's something I'll work on. But I'm here at Love's to get the magnet for this phone so I can use it like this phone. Looks the same exact way, but you don't realize this is a $1,600 phone. My poor mom, she said, why do you have 3 phones? They just have one, flip phone. My mom and dad say you can't be too smart, you have a smartphone. But I try to explain it, then it's too much information. I'll tell mom, look, the reason why I have these 2 phones, let me break it down. Number 1, T-Mobile had a plan. My other phones were paid for, but they had a plan that if I upgrade to these phones, Mom, they would give me a deduction on my monthly bill that if I kept these 2 phones in service with them, T-Mobile, for 24 months or 2 years, which I was going to do anyway, they pay for the phones. But Like, you think I should just disconnect these. Guess what? If I disconnect them, I have to pay the balance on the phone, which could be $1,000 for each phone to disconnect them, or I disconnect the lines. Then I have to pay $1,000 per phone. I then would own the phones, but guess what, Mom? I would have $2,000 phones with no carrier, which is kind of somewhat useless other than making videos and stuff or using Wi-Fi with them. It's sort of like a little computer. However, Mom, I would have to go to another carrier to have the same service I have with T-Mobile. So it just makes better sense, even though I've been fired, even though it doesn't seem practical, to keep the two phones until they're paid off. And then when they're paid off, they're mine. I can unlock them and do whatever I want with them. That's why I'm keeping these two phones. The other reason I'm keeping these two phones, this phone, Mom, is 500 gigabyte storage, and I'm upgrading my other phone to be 1 terabyte, Mom, because 1 terabyte is double the space, so that when I'm making my videos, the 1 terabyte phone, I can have 500 gigabytes of storage, which is lots of content, Mom, and then I have another whole 500 gigabytes of storage to have new content for my videos. Now you see, she's like, I don't even get this. Let's not even talk about it, you know. And I'm almost 70. My parents are 87, so there's like, so it's too complicated for them. So I can't really explain anything, you know, because I'm the only one in my family doing this. Okay, I'm the weird one. You know, you might even think I'm weird. Dude, come on. 26 minutes and 49 seconds. It's almost half your hour quota. And this isn't even a TikTok video. I know, I just like talking in the front of the camera. I took the video matrix, it was just 10 minutes a day, and then I started doing more and more, and pretty soon I'm just making videos, dude. And I'm talking to myself all day long, even at my folks' house, even with my new Prius, even in the middle of all this. Okay, let's shut this off. Okay, we can zoop, we can do some we can do some Japanese advanced ninja editing techniques, dude. That's what we can do. We can take this 27 minutes and 33 seconds and go, and what we can do is trim it down to 30 seconds. We'll just speed it up. Instead of 27 minutes, we'll make it into a minute, and we'll just speed me up so it sounds like a chipmunk. And then I'm like, in 3 minutes, it'd be like, maybe that's one thing I can do. I don't know if there's a program that would do that, but we can try. Anyway, let's get inside right now. See you on the, probably I'll see you at the house, because I just want to just get this and go back to the house and do this video. I just got this thing that I needed for my 1 terabyte phone, so I can put it up here where this other one is. So now, I've lost you, but I have 2 iPhones. One is my old workhorse that I was using for all my videos that had 500 gigabytes of storage. That may not, it would be Chinese to my mom and dad for sure if I said Mom and Dad. I upgraded because I went to a 500 gigabyte storage. When they don't even, they have flip phones. They're like, wow, what is that? I'm not going to even try to explain, Mom. You know, it just means I wanted it. Now, here's the bad part about my life. There's a lot of bad things about it. Number one, I'm unemployed. I went from making $1,000 a week plus, doing what I love, driving a truck, dressing how I want to dress. I get all my loads on my smartphone, just like Hoover or you know, whatever. Just like, it was like being a Hoover driver or DoorDash or whatever, except it was with a truck, you know. They gave me my loads. I was trained just like you were at DoorDash or Hoover to do what you're supposed to do with my loads. Okay, I'm waiting for these cars to clear out, okay? And except I did an 18-wheeler. and I was an employee. I found out the hard way I was an employee, because as an employee they can fire you, you know. If I was an owner-operator, I couldn't fire myself, you know. Here we go. Take off, dude. Okay, here we go. 28, 29. Here we go. 32. Okay, we're on this little strip. Anyway, with network marketing, with Sophia Rashkin back in the day, we used to talk about how you don't want to give the power to a job, employer, because they can fire you. They have control over you. There's somebody else passing. It's almost a head-on collision with me over passing. But anyway, you get fired. Well, I never thought about that with Knight up to the last 24 hours, because it was the last thing in the world. If you told me I was fired 5 months ago, if you told me 7 months ago I was going to get fired, I wouldn't have believed you. And what for, you know? And I said, well, you're going to get fired because you had a microsleep that lasted about a second, and you went off the road and you got stuck in the mud. You didn't damage the trailer, the tractor, nothing. You didn't hit anyone, no one was hurt. And actually, Knight said, we're not firing you because of the actual event or the incident, getting stuck in the mud, because in reality, we just had to tow you out in the ditch, and then you went to Flagstaff, took your 10-hour break, and then you T-called the load to the yard, and, you know, you still delivered it. And we're firing you because what could happen now, because it's happened once, it hasn't happened in 9 years, but because it can happen, it potentially can happen, we got to just take care of our ass and fire you, because if there is the possibility. So I was thinking to myself, the logic is so stupid. I mean, who are you guys? So that means that all the other drivers that are perfect, like I had 750,000 miles, 1 million total miles with no accidents. I had one ticket 8 years ago. I delivered all my loads on time. Every one of my driver managers said and treated me like royalty, like I was a senior driver. Madeline, who is the drive-in terminal manager, wanted to ride with me in the truck, and I'm making videos promoting your company, and you want to fire me because what could happen. Wow, I'm getting fired because of what could happen. And they didn't have the brains, they didn't have the awareness that as much as they didn't want it to happen, I didn't want it to happen. They didn't have any, like, our logic is, just because it could happen, we're going to fire you. Get the fuck out of here. You're a piece of shit. You're nobody to us anymore. Get out of here. End of story. WIDO, delete. End of story. Then we have no possibility of any liabilities, period. That's all we care about. We don't care about you. Forget all the driver, you know, if you go to YouTube, check it out. Go to YouTube and check out, type in Knight videos and look at all the videos with the corporate people riding in the truck. Look at episode 1 where he says, you know, don't say you're just a driver, you know. That, it just blows me up. Because you're not just a driver, you're the most important part. We can line up all the business. We can have the planners and the market managers and the fleet managers and the driver manager. We have everyone, but if there's nobody driving our trucks, delivering our loads, we're fucked. You're not just a driver, but when you do one thing in almost 10 years, you're no longer a driver. We're going to fire you. All the success you've had absolutely means nothing to us, because we got to cover our ass, because the truth is we don't care a flying fuck about you. Because you know why? Do you know why, dude? And this is what my dad said, believe it or not. I'm going back to my house. This is what my own dad said, who's now turning 89. This is my dad. My dad's an ex-traffic supervisor, a sergeant for San Diego PD, not like the jokers that, and he said, wow, the VP of safety and Madeline and all of us have looked at the camera footage. All of you, wow. Well, you all looked at the camera footage. My own dad said, this is total bullshit, you know. My own dad. They're firing you because of what could happen? Are you kidding me? They're doing that. They need drivers, and they're firing you because what could happen. Wow. That makes so much sense, you know. But my dad said the truth is it's age discrimination. You're 68 going on 69. And they know, they're not going to say this. They're going to use this as a logical excuse. Think about it. They're not going to tell them. They're going to say, well, liability purposes, you know, you could have this happen again. Therefore, we can't take any chances with our insurance, or we could have a major lawsuit. So, you know, our logical reason to fire you is because you're just a piece of shit, and it could happen again, and we got to protect ourselves. So that's why we're firing you. But the truth is, this is the corporate bullshit truth, okay? They looked at me behind closed doors and they said, look, this dude in 2 more years, he's going to hit his 1,000,000 miles, and he's going to be 70, okay? We're going to have to pay him a $5,000 check, $5,000. We're going to have to give him a brand new truck. And then he's going to be fucking 70 years old driving around a new truck, and we paid him $5,000. We can eliminate all this bullshit, and we can just put, this is what George Carlin would tell him. We'll just fire him. Then guess what? We'll just put a new guy who will love the new truck. It has 200,000 miles on it. He's done his 200,000. We've made the 1,000,000 off of him. And so we'll just put a new guy. They'll take 10 years to get his 1,000,000. So we'll fire him before he gets his 1,000,000. That way we'll save 5,000, and we won't have to do this shit, you know? And we'll just explain it to him that we're firing you because, you know, of liability purposes, okay? That's the truth. It's bullshit. So in the end, Knight Transportation, the truth is, was just another company. They weren't the company I thought they were, you know. So that's why I'm stopping at the little market here, getting some beer on a Sunday, because beer is the only thing that kind of cushions my insanity, you know. But here's the cool thing. No, dude, is it? It's not. Okay, we gotta put it in neutral. Okay, neutral. Okay. Here's the reality. Okay. The reality is I don't give a flying fuck. I do, actually. But how can I give a fuck about Knight when they don't give a fuck about me? Because I love the job. And on top of it, they ended my career. They weren't even cool about saying, well, we can't take you back, give you a second chance, but we won't fuck up your career. When on your application, when other companies inquire, were you a good employee, good driver, and hireable, we'll say you're hireable. You know, I could have maybe said, okay, before you fire me, I'm going to quit. So on my record, it's I quit. You didn't fire me. It's okay. Can you do that? If I have to go, can you at least put I left to semi-retire and take a break? Can you do that? They couldn't even do that. They had to fuck up my whole career on top of it. They took, well, so far they've taken $20,000 out of my pocket. They probably have taken $100,000 out. And I could probably assemble, I have so many friggin' videos on my driving and my record, and I could bring in driver managers to bring them in as testimony witnesses, and probably go to a labor attorney. I haven't tested this out. I could just start calling up labor attorneys. Can you represent me? You know, I have a potential case. Let me show you some videos. I can just send you a video. Let me know if I have a case for $100,000, $200,000 suit. Because I want to sue their ass. In fact, that motherfucker that fired me, I want him to lose his job over this. Can we do it? You know, I could possibly do it. I could try, right? I may not have a case, but I could try. I haven't even done that. You know, and they don't even have the awareness. You know, there was a dude in Katy, Texas, true story, who was an employee, probably a driver that went postal, that went into the terminal and killed someone and killed himself. They didn't even think, wow, we could really piss this guy off. He's at the end of his life. He might just come in here and go postal on us. They didn't even think about that. Now, I'm not going to do that. As pissed off as I am, I'm not going to do anything stupid, because that would be really stupid. You know, it'd really fuck up my life. Well, of course, dude, if you go in and kill someone and then you kill yourself, that's kind of like really fuck up. That's majorly fucked up. You're going to let them drive you insane to where you do something weird like that? It's bad enough you're making weird movies, but no, I'm not going to do anything like that.
You know I'm not, because I may be weird. Do you know what my driver ID is? WIDO. Do you know I used to always tell people when I'm filling up the vehicle, the truck, what's your driver ID? WIEDO. It's like weirdo without the R. Or if I didn't say it, I'd say WIEDO. They say, that's like weirdo without the R. So I just started saying that. So my life is weird. It's still weird. It's probably always going to be weird. But I'm going to put this on my 1 gigabyte store, 1 terabyte. Okay. Here's the other thing is. What's the other thing, dude? Come on. You don't start sentences and just say, here's the other thing. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm having a senior moment. I forgot what I was going to say. How about that? Anyway, I think we should go inside and get our beer. This is the typical life of a fired night driver who got fired, I believe, unfairly. Kind of like trying to get past it in his Prius. Here's the other thing. This is true. I even told the dude, do you realize I have to go home to my father who's hospice and tell him, you've just fired my night just fired me to mom and dad. The company I've come home to every 10 years. Yeah, for 10 years I've said, I love this job. I'm so happy I have this job. I'm professional. I've turned my life around. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to finish my career with night, and they fucking fired me, Dad. Do you believe that? He's like, what? That's fucked up. No, he didn't say fucked up. He said that's chicken shit. He didn't care. He didn't care. Do you realize, no matter how many things I said, do you realize I'm going to be losing a lot of money towards my retirement? Do you realize I'm now going to be unemployed? I'm not going to have any money but my Social Security. Do you realize that this really screws up my life? They didn't care. Madeline didn't even show up for the meeting. I can't get over that. She didn't even have the balls to show up. She's the supervisor of Bianca and Erica and our whole fleet, and she couldn't even sit in the meeting and tell me, you're fired. She probably didn't have the heart, because probably deep down, she didn't have the heart to face me. That's the truth. That's how fucked up this whole situation is. So, my friend Sophia, the bottom line, said to me, look, are you going to let this dude who fucked up your last 24 hours with night transportation rent space in your head? He's not worth it. Don't let him rent space in your head. Well, I'm talking about him on video, so I'm giving him energy. He doesn't care a flying fuck about me. He's probably at home drinking beer or doing something, and I'm the last thing on his mind. Because you know why? Firing me didn't cost him nothing, Zero. I'm just like, he even said in the meeting, I've just fired some other million milers. That's what I do. I fire people every day. That's my job, I watched George Clooney in Up in the Air when I was a kid, and he was my hero. So I got this job to fire people at night. I'm like in seventh heaven, man. I don't even have a CDL. I couldn't drive the truck out of a parking lot, but I get to fire guys like you. It gives me a power trip, dude. How do you like that? You have no power over me. I wanted to say, let's step outside. Let me try and see how my full contact kung fu works at age 70. You want to try it out? See if I can still, beat the shit out of you? Can we do that? Huh? Can we do that? Are you man enough to step outside with me? And yeah, you can talk all this bunch of bullshit stuff in the meeting room, but do you want to step outside? And let's just I'll put headgear and chest protector on you, and I'll just, beat the shit out of you just for the fuck of it. See if I'm getting fired. Do you want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. You can't do that, Well, the good news is they can't fire me a second time, I think. I got a cold still lingering. I'm going in to get some beer right now.